Good morning, one and all. My name is Grishma. I am your new English lecturer. So today I am going to teach you a poem, The Schoolboy by William Blake. I hope you all are familiar with the name William Blake. He is a very popular poet and also a painter. And he also contributed a plethora of work in English literature. So first we can go through about the author. So William Blake. William Blake lived from 1757 to 1827, and he was a poet and also a painter, and was born in Soho in London, the son of Hosea. He had little formal education but was apprenticed to James Bazaar. So apprentice means, see I have written here, apprentice means a person who learns trade from the skilled person or skilled employer. I hope you all know about trade. Trade means buying and selling the goods. So William Blake was apprenticed to James Bazaar. Who is James Bazaar? He was an eminent engraver. Eminent means a popular or famous. I have written there. An engraver means like one who makes sculptures. Sculptures in the sense one who use woods. One who cuts the wood, glass or metal in some different designs. In Kannada we call it as a kettanegara. I hope now you came to know what exactly it is. So James Bazaar was an eminent engraver. Then William Blake was sent to the Royal Academy. His finest work as an artist in the series, Invention to the Book of Job. His collection of poetry include, I mentioned here, poetical sketches, songs of innocence, songs of experience, and marriage of heaven and the hell. So the schoolboy is a lyric from the songs of experience. Okay. So the schoolboy was published in 1789. I mentioned that. So it was published in 1789 by William Blake. So the poem is a lyric from the songs of experience by his collection of poetry. So the major themes of the poem are nature, freedom, sorrow and oppression. Okay. So I'll just read the poem once. The Schoolboy by William Blake. I love to rise in a summer moon when the bird sings on every tree. The distant huntsman winds his horn and the skylark sings with me. Oh, what a sweet company! But to go to school on the summer moon, oh, it drives all joy away. Under a cruel eye outworn, the little ones spend the day in sighing and dismay. Then at times I drooping sit and spend many an anxious hour, nor in my book can I take delight, nor sit in learning's bower, worn through with dreary shower. How can the bird that is born for joy sit in a cage and sing? How can a child, when fears annoy, but droops his tender wings and forget his youthful spring? O father and mother, if buds are nipped and blossoms blown away, and if the tender plants are stripped of their joy in the springing day by sorrow and care's dismay, how shall the summer arise in joy, or the summer fruits appear? Or how shall we gather what griefs destroy, or bless the mellowing ear, when the blasts of winter appear? So, this is all about the poem. So, in this poem, the narrator of the poem is none other than the schoolboy. So, he is not at all interested to go to school. So, he really hates to go to school. Okay. So, through the perspective of the schoolboy, the poet brings out the negative impact of the classroom education system on a growing child at a very tender age. Okay. So, I'll just explain the poem line by line. So, the first line is, I means here the narrator itself, the schoolboy. So, I love to rise in a summer morning. Here, why they have mentioned as a summer morning? Because, see, in India, summer season is like really very horrible season. It's completely exhausted season. It's fine when it compares to these regions like Mandya, Mysore, Bangalore, it's fine, we can manage it, we can tolerate it. But when it comes to North Karnataka like Bijapur, Raichur, Chitradurga, and all such places, summer season is something which is really very horrible. The temperature will go above 40 degrees Celsius. And the people also, they cannot go out and work at least for 1 hour or 2 hours. They will be completely exhausted. They will be really tired. Okay. But when it comes to not only in Karnataka but also in some other states of India like Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and also like Delhi, Rajasthan, in all such places, summer season is really horrible. But what about winter? Winter is really very pleasant and delightful season it is. Okay, we really feel very happy to go out for a walk or to whatever it is. There won't be heavy sunlight or very exhausted like summer. Okay, so now when it comes to European countries like Germany, Ireland, Sweden, Switzerland, and etc., in all such countries winter season is really like horrible season, because in winter, during winter season in European countries, the temperature will reduce like 10 degree, sometimes 5 degree or 0, even sometimes minus also. There is a chances to go for minus also. So the people, we really surprised that how the people are living in that places. But even in Canada and all, it's really a heavy cold, it's freezing there. So just assume that there are many Indians also going to Canada for the purpose of some education or some for job purpose and all. But still, many of them are returning to their native places because they cannot manage, they cannot tolerate the cold there. Okay, so here, but for them, summer season is like really pleasant season, because during summer season also the temperature varies only like 18 or 20 degree or above just 20 degree. They will be really very happy when the season is summer there. Okay, so even William Blake, he belongs to London, UK. So he wrote this based on their surroundings. Okay, so here the boy, he really loves to rise in the summer morning when the bird sings on every tree. See here, even we, as soon as we woke up in the early morning and we just stepped out of the house, we really feel very happy by seeing the nature's beauty, because there will be very cool breeze, at the same time very melodious song of birds, and also there will be not there any sound disturbance, nothing. So even I personally go to walk on the early morning. So I hope even you people also like that. So even this boy, he really loves to rise in the summer morning when the bird sings on every tree, because it's early morning will be really very silent place, so even a small sound can also hear. So in the next line, the distant huntsman winds his horn. So the distant huntsman winds his horn means, even the hunter who goes to hunt, even the boy can hear from the far distance his horns. What does it mean? Because it's early morning, for that reason he can hear very properly all the sounds. That's what he is meaning here. And the skylark sings with me. Skylark means here the name of a bird. So this boy is thinking that even the skylark is also singing with him. The bird is also singing with him. So what is sweet company? So in the first stanza, the boy is really very happy that to enjoy with the nature. Okay. So in the first stanza, the schoolboy who loves to rise in the summer morning wants to enjoy the company of the singing skylark and any other birds. He likes to hear the huntsman blowing his pipe from distance. In such a fine morning, he doesn't like to go to school. So in the first stanza, the boy will be really very happy. But as soon as he thinks that he wants to go to school, suddenly he will be depressed or disappointed. But to go to school on a summer morning, oh, it drives all joy away. Even this might be experience for everyone. Even I personally, I used to find some reasons also in order to escape from going to school. So even this boy is also not at all interested to go to school, because under a cruel eye outworn. See here, this line indicates the attitude of the teachers. Some teachers, in order to make the kids silent. They really they shout at them very badly. At the same time, through their eyes only, they warns them, if you are not keeping quiet, definitely I'm going to throw you out of the class, in that way. So, and also some teachers will really beat them very badly. So they behave very awful with the students. So what will the students will do if the teachers are behaving like this? The little ones spend the day in sighing and dismay. So the children will spend the day with grief and distress, with very sad and distress. Okay. So in the next stanza, then at time I drooping sit. Drooping sit means like bending. Okay, the flower will be blossoms early morning. It's really very beautiful to look at the flowers. But as soon as when there is heavy sunlight or in the under hot sun, definitely the flower is going to bend. Okay. So in this way only he is telling like at the times that drooping sit means he is only completely tired because he is not at all interested to concentrate in class or sit in the classroom. And spend many an anxious hour. And spend many an anxious hour means nervous hour. He is completely petrified or frightened because of the teacher. Nor in my books can I take delight. Nor in my books can I take delight. Even he will not get any happiness through his books. And also, nor sit in learning's bower. Here, bower is means something which is shady place under the trees. Means like, I think you all are familiar with our old Gurukula system. So in these days, what they are doing, the teachers and students will be sitting under the shady tree with the nature's beauty. They can hear there will be very cool breeze at the same time, very melodious song of birds. Even the flowers will be blossoms. Also the very nice smell, fragrance of the flowers, birds, butterflies, whatever. So definitely some, even the students are not at all interested. Definitely in that surrounding, that ambience, definitely they feel like to learn something. Instead of sitting under the, inside the four covering walls, at least if the students are, teachers are doing in such activities, definitely the students will be really delightful. So he's telling that he will not get any happiness through his books. At the same time, under a learning's bubble, won't through the dreary shabba, means he will be completely damaged or something completely depressed or boring for him. So in the next stanza, he is comparing himself to the birds. Okay. So how can the bird that is born for joy sit in a cage and sing? So he is asking that how can the bird who is that is born for joy sit in a cage and sing? See, birds means what does it indicate? We should leave the birds with complete freedom. If we catch the birds and put it in under a cage or something, definitely the birds won't be happy. We should leave the birds with complete freedom. Then only the birds will also be very happy. So he is comparing himself to the birds because he is not at all interested to go to school. So this is the best, I mean the children are the best time for them to enjoy, play, eat, something like that. Okay. So his in next line, how can a child when fears annoy? Fears annoy means something like angry or irritation, something, but drooping his tender wings and forget his youthful spring. So he droops means he's bent his tender wings and forgets his youthful spring. So here, as he was a child, he is not at all doing what he wants to do. He is not at all enjoying his life with, by playing with the nature, and with complete freedom he is not enjoying. Simply the parents are forced them to, they send the child to school. For that reason, even though without interest also, he is coming and attend the classes. So he is just telling that he is completely, even he is not playing, so he will just forget his youthful also. At the same time, there won't be any kind of memories when as soon as he grown up, when he thinks about his childhood days, there will not there any good memories. That's what he is mentioning here. Then in next stanza, oh father and mother, if buds are nipped and blossoms blown away. So he is telling to their parents. Then he is comparing himself to the flowers. Okay. Oh father and mother, if buds are nipped means if the buds are removed and blossoms blown away. Blossoms means you all know See, if the plants has covered with full of beautiful flowers, it looks really gorgeous or something like beautiful, isn't it? It will be really exquisite to see. But if the beginning stage, if the buds only are removed, means then completely the blossoms will move away. That's what he is mentioning here. And if the tender plants are stripped, tender plants means very small plants, gentle plants are stripped means that is also removed of their joy in this springing day by sorrow and care dismay. So here he is comparing himself to the birds, flowers, leaves, everything. How shall the summer arise in joy, or the summer fruits appear? Or how shall we gather what griefs destroy, or bless the mellowing year, when the blasts of winter appear? So, here the schoolboy, he is just telling to the parents, the boy asks parents of children, how can a bird which is born for joy sit and sing when it is caged? The poet compared the little school children to caged birds. He further compares the children to buds, flowers and springing tender plants. So if the buds are nipped, blossoms blown away and tender plants are stripped, the flowering, fruiting and mellowing seasons of summer cannot arrive in joy. Instead, like the destroyer, the plants Instead, like a destroyer, the blasts of winter will destroy everything. The poet, setting a pastoral background of the poem, cites example from nature. If the growing children at their tender age are denied their natural growth and enjoyment, and they will not be able to grow to their fullness. So here, William Blake is giving an important message to the readers, like he is just telling to leave the kids with complete freedom. He is just telling that to leave the kids with complete freedom. Let them enjoy, let them decide their own future. That's what he is mentioning here. So we all know how our present generation is like, simply comparing our kids to some other kids, isn't it? So see how well marks he has scored in his exams. Or she is very good dancer, she had won the competition, or he can play very good cricket, that these things. Simply the parents are forcing their kids to do something which they really don't like to do. Okay, instead of it, at least if the parents are asking their kid in which field you are really interested in, then definitely just support their kids. Then definitely when he grows, he will be succeed in his life. So you can see in this even in this generation, like coding, that these things, bachelor's class, that everything has started right from the primary itself. So if the child is really interested in coding, it's okay, fine, but we all know coding, that these things, it's not at all easy, because these things are done by the IT engineers or senior engineers like that, okay, senior developers or like that. So if even parents will also force the kids, yeah, you have to study it from the primary itself, then only when you grow up or when you join to engineering, that these things, you will be really very expert. So even the parents, they want to join their kids to the topmost two eyes of India, that is like IIT, IIMs and all. So simply don't want to force their kids, don't put so much pressure on them for the reason which they really don't want to do or don't want to become. Okay, for this reason only we can avoid many suicide cases or that these things. So we should be, a parent should be really a very great supporter for their child and just support them and let them be success in their future. So I hope you all understood about this poem. We can meet you in the next class. Thank you.